situated here. I'll give a few minutes for everybody to come in as well. If you guys are new here, my name's Adrian. I run Reliable HVACR, and I run a business, Reliable Kitchen Services with my dad. And we're gonna live stream here in a minute, or we are. Just waiting to see who pops in. We had a pretty good turnout last week. We'll see how it goes. This is all a test and an experiment. If you guys can hear me, let me know. If not, I can change something. Hopefully everything looks okay. What's up, Jesus? Just trying to get everything situated, waiting for some people to come in. Trying to do this on my phone this week. So yeah, everything will be in the description. Like I said, if you haven't been here before, welcome to the channel. If you check in the description, there's tool recommendations, which we're going to talk about today a little bit. And just links. I got discounts on Jobber software. Like I said, tool recommendations, cashback on some gas that we use daily. And what else do we got in there? Oh yeah, the merch is up. A lot of people ordered this past weekend. Greatly appreciate you guys. I'm trying to have a big variety of stuff like that. Just fun HVAC shirts, I guess. We even use them at work. So, well, it's not a version of them. And people get a kick out of it. Appreciate you for following along. This is a whole new world for me, the live streaming. So, like I said, I'm going to wait for some people to come in, see how it goes. Last week we did it at the same time and everything went well. So, also, if we do live streams, the audio will get ripped and we'll be doing podcasts. It'll be uploaded wherever you listen to those. So, right now I have them like on Spotify and the Apple one, and I'll get more going. Just so if you guys can't tune in for the live stream, it'll be up there if you want to listen to it later. So there is that. And then this week the topic is, I'm gonna try and do this as organized as I can. Last week was just a test, and a lot of people came through. So I know a lot of people viewed it afterwards. So like I said, if you're watching this afterwards, it's all fine. Just remember to leave a like, leave a comment if you can. So if you guys have any questions on tools, recommendations, or if you have recommendations on your favorite tool, go ahead and leave that in the chat. We're going to talk about tools in a minute. RLS Pro Press. I have that in my van. We'll have some videos on it soon. All right, and then where are we? Okay. All right, so there's people coming in now. So, like I titled this, it's what are your most or must-have tools? basically everybody has a different answer for this. So it's whatever you feel like uh, needs to be in your bag at all times, like troubleshooting bags. So like your everyday carry. Um, so many to choose from. Yeah, I'll have a couple in mind. It could be like a tool that you maybe don't use often, but you're glad that it's in your bag for when you need it. And that's why I have that tool link. So if you guys need any recommendations, that the tool link is in the description. And uh, I actually have people that follow that tool link and they appreciate it, you know. So I'll keep it going. I'm trying to have it more organized so you guys can just go in there and pick a category that you want, get the tool that you want are looking for, or I guess it's separated right now in hand tools, HVAC, like specialty tools, stuff that I keep in my van for storage, like to easily put away stuff, things like that. So, like I said, we'll see how this goes. Maybe last week there was more people because it was my first time, but we'll see how it goes. Trying to see if this is a good time, if it's a good day, all that. Angle bit and Ryobi flex extension. I just bought a right angle bit for my Milwaukee. I've only used it maybe twice, but it's good to have. And it does get you out of a lot of jams because, like, I have so many bits for my impact now. So I have like all these sockets to remove compressors, just a whole bunch of nuts and bolts that you got to take off. Having all the right bits on your impact makes a hell of a difference, and you can take off stuff, super quick. Just watch that trigger finger, You don't want to strip out things. I try to keep my drill on a low speed, and that helps a lot. And if I'm not doing anything major, I just carry an electric screwdriver. So having a drill or a screwdriver, electric screwdriver, is essential to carry in my bag too. So you do residential work if you do the home condensers. I don't really do a lot of split systems. I do see them in the commercial field, and yeah, there's always a ton of screws, especially or just in general if you got to take apart anything because they make some of this stuff. The panels have like 20 screws each, or if you're replacing a blower, uh, cage, like anything that's in the middle of the system, you gotta like take apart a whole bunch of stuff. So you gotta be can't be afraid to take apart a whole system, but you gotta be able to put it back together. Uh, Home condenser units that are pushed up against the wall or against each other. Yeah, I don't have too many like that. That's the luxury of being a commercial tech is I'm on the roof all the time. So I do kitchen refrigeration mostly. So I'm either on the roof checking their walk-ins or I do some of their HVAC work, and then it's either that or I'm in the kitchen on the floor underneath a reach-in cooler or a drawer or something like that. my my favorite tool I was blessed with at birth. Good for you, bro. I've never worked on a mini split. I see so many people doing those. I have seen a couple in certain areas pop up. So I think it's like I'm in Texas, like the very south. Um, it is kind of a low cost of living area. We're just that far down from everybody. I think also that we were like the last ones to get everything. So when people are, working on all this new stuff, I don't see it till like a year later or something, or even longer because I'm still working on a lot of old carriers and weather makers, some I get a lot of train units. I just started seeing Lennox units, like Prodigy units and all that stuff. A lot of our train and carrier units are like the simple things, and a lot of mechanical stuff. So I just started also seeing the, what do you call it? Like the electronic expansion valves, stuff like that from Heatcraft, like the Intelligen. I never saw anything else before that. I know there's a bunch of boards that are in the walk-in coolers and stuff, but I've never seen anything until Intelligen. So everything in between mechanical and this now that's coming out, I've never worked on that kind of stuff. So we're like the last ones to get everything. And as far as the condensers you're talking about, the being like up close together and stuff, I had an account, but I don't think we're gonna get it that we went out to, and I don't know if it was like apartments or something similar, and they had all the condensers kind of lined up together. But I think it was on the rooftop. I didn't get to go to the estimate or whatever they asked us for. My coworkers went, but it was basically a whole bunch of condensers on a roof, split system, and they were all going to be heat pump, which is also new to me. I don't work on heat pumps here. It's no cool season all year round, so we don't really have a use. Nobody uses their heating here, so I've never replaced a reversing valve or anything like in that sense. Freddy's Blanco. I've been in the trade going on 15 years, so I've been here for a while. I started in the hot food side, so that's what my dad does. He was an electrician. He got into the hot food equipment, and I basically, after high school, went to go help him with that. So I don't know if I've gotten into it too much, but I started on the hot side. So like, he started this like as a side business, and I remember waking up like on the weekends, early in the morning, going with him to pretty big accounts that he got, just being handling all these customers at another company, making the relationships and stuff. And then like when he went on his own, a lot of people wanted him, not necessarily the company he was at. So I remember on those weekends going into all these kitchens, working on stoves, grills, fryers. Can't say that I miss it, but I do need to get back into it and be a well-rounded tech. He's going to retire soon, so I only know HVAC and refrigeration. I need to do both sides because, like, in his mind, he was like, I don't want them calling somebody else to be in the area that we're working in. Like, we're fixing the grills and stuff. We should be able to fix a cooler next to it. So I went to school for it, got my license and everything, EPA, everything I needed in Texas. And I basically got thrown in there, and now I run the HVAC side. So a little bit of a history there. Appreciate everybody coming in. The viewers are coming in, I guess. Remember to like. We will see how this goes. Like I said, we're going to talk about tools. I'll get into that in a bit. Let me just get kind of back on the chat. Yeah, the RLS Pro, I have a video coming out because we met with Zoomlock. Yeah, Zoomlock. And I didn't meet with RLS, but I saw them at AHR. And then I had a phone call conversation with the guy, Paul, who basically does like a lot of their stuff, promoting and handling like I guess the customer relationships. So I talked to him on the phone, and I kind of got swayed to that side because it basically, like I said, I'll have a video on it eventually, but since it's soft copper couplings, I know that Zoom lock is going to be like, well, they'll get damaged easier. Like when I went to the Zoom lock meeting, they had me throwing the Zoom lock fittings, and because it's made of hard copper, it doesn't do anything. There's no damage to it. And he goes and shows me like an RLS fitting that was all bent to hell. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to be throwing them on the floor purposely. But I did like that RLS is soft copper. So basically, when you're pressing the two together, if you're using soft copper with it, it basically bonds it and you don't even see where they meet. So that's what I liked about it personally versus the hard copper. And then the hard copper on the Zoom lock is a 6-point press. So it's not going to be perfectly round. It's like it presses in 6 points and then it makes its connection. I think it relies more on the gasket too. So that's just what I got from it from when I talked to both parties. And I do have the RLS kit. I've had a couple of jobs that I was supposed to use it at. Got canceled. I think I'm going to have them coming up again though, because they didn't get canceled. They got pushed back quite a bit. So within the next like month or so, I should have maybe 2 projects with it. And then I'll let you know. Kind of wanted to test them on each other too, as far as like making connections here at the house and testing them, pressure testing them, maybe underwater too, so we can really see if either of them leak. And maybe also up against the push fittings, because I've used the Zoom lock push fittings, which do work, but those require like 0 errors on your part. If you mess up, if you're off by a little bit on prepping it or anything, I think those things will leak. So that has to go perfect on the push fittings at least to make sure that they don't leak on you. So I've had them leak. If you've seen my videos, they can leak if they get too hot. You got to read the manual too, and just make sure you prep them. Whether you're using the push fittings, the Zoom lock press, or the RLS press, it's all about the prep. So we'll see how they last, and I want to use it on an R22 system as well, even though it's not advertised for it, but we'll get to it. But I'll use it very soon. I do love brazing though. I don't know, everybody always hates the whole press situation because everybody's doing it over like on Instagram and stuff, but I like to have options. So oxyacetylene is obviously my favorite, but then I recently got the turbo torch. So now I have a turbo torch setup that I only use on rooftops where I'm like dragging torches and I don't want to carry the oxyacetylene, especially like for small patches and little things like that. I don't want to take something heavy like the oxyacetylene. I just, it's a little acetylene tank, and on that tank, I hang everything that I need, which is basically like one rod if I'm doing a patch, and then like a striker and just some abrasive cloth, and we're good. Go do the work that I need to do. Turbo torch, you just have to make sure you're not close to anything because it gives off a lot of heat, but options are great. So I have the oxyacetylene for like TXVs or like anything small and sensitive. I also like to use those for like reach-in coolers and stuff. That way I'm not burning up anything like, or dryers basically too. Um, but if you need to, just use like the heat block putty that a lot of people sell and you'll be fine. But like I said, the oxyacetylene, I like to use it the most. It's the easiest, it's the quickest. It's great for like sensitive components. Then you have turbo torch, which is like if you're doing patch repairs, even a compressor change out or something like that, use that. And it's going to be the lightest, easiest on you. And then now I added the press fitting tool, and we're going to try it out. I don't see it where I'm going to be using it every day or every week, but I have it, and I know it can come in handy just to have the option there. So I just like to have options. That's the way I like to do things. Man, one day I'd like to sell Samsung and LG mini splits, but I could never see myself as a contractor. And it's not for everybody. So that's something that was a topic in school a lot because basically half my professors were um, business owners and the other half were working somewhere. So they would ask the guys that were working somewhere if they could ever be a business owner, and they said no. Just some people can deal with all that. It's a lot to deal with. Um, you have to know a lot more on the. There's a lot of business to take in on that side because you can't just go and do your work and be done at the end of the day. Like there's a whole bunch to it, but some people like to just work somewhere, which is great. I mean, as long as you get your benefits, you're they're good to you and all that. Or some like they feel like they get treated like crap everywhere, and they want to make their own schedule, their own money, and all that, and they go into business for themselves, which I could not see myself working somewhere. I like having my freedom, but when I started, I didn't want to be, or I didn't want any part of the business side. Just wanted to be an employee for my dad, even though technically I ran the HVAC side from the beginning. Basically, I didn't like it. I still do everything that I can. I handle all the billing, all the online software documents, everything like that. He handles, the money. I let him. I don't want to be part of that, and he does more customer relationships. Which when he retires, I got to take over all that. You just got to be on your toes all the time when you're a contractor. Jesus, you've done one intelligent. I've done like a handful of them. They were headaches. They're super easy to install, and I think that part is a breeze. Putting them in and everything, kind of you get used to the controller, uh, and it's pretty simple. Like read the manual, which is not very long. Intelligent, I think they're great, um, or easy to install. Now, when you start having issues with them, that's a whole other story. Um, I've talked about it a lot because people bring it up, but I've had issues and I've tried to call the tech support, and I think they also have me talk to the distributor that we have here because I think he's like some sort of tech too. And I never got like straight answers for the problems I was having. Basically, the electronic expansion valve would either be all the way closed or all the way open. It would never regulate. And you would think, especially when you run the test mode and you find out it's doing all the proper signals when it's calling for this or that, it just ended up being the board. And I got no um, answer as to why. It was a board, change it out. I haven't been called back on the two that we had issues with. So it's technology. It has its issues, and um, you got to deal with it. And hopefully the manufacturers get better at the tech support, which is why I wish Blue On was not only for HVAC because refrigeration side is a whole other like hurdle. Like you got to deal with a whole bunch of you need a lot of OEM parts on the refrigeration side, and then some issues are pretty weird, like those that I had with the Intelligent. So I don't know. If Blue On can do the refrigeration side too, that'd be great. Now, where was I? So I'm gonna talk through the chat so I can catch up real quick. Jonathan from Florida. Is kitchen refrigeration light when it comes to strength needed? Yeah, like if you're just doing kitchen refrigeration, like kitchen refrigeration service, well, we do change outs and some installs. We don't go the whole mile. I don't know how the saying goes, but I don't do new construction. I don't do new installs. Basically, because I don't do I learned it, but I don't really do heat load calculations. So, I mean, if I could if I wanted to, but I just like servicing so much. I don't really try to get into the um, new construction, especially like with everything. It's like who you know. I'd have to try and get into places, make relationships with those contractors that do the construction. But I'm doing good on just service. So you're gonna be on the floor a lot, and then you're gonna be on the roof a lot. So if you can get up and down a ladder, it's not that bad. And then in the kitchen, I try to schedule when they're not busy. That's the only issue is when the kitchen is busy, you're gonna have to be under a cook. They're gonna be stepping around you. If they're cooking, it's gonna be hot in there. Fryers, they get really greasy just in the air and around it. So I think I've said this before, but cardboard is your best friend when you're in the kitchen. You want to lay cardboard on everything and then just watch what you touch because everything's hot, like grills, fryers. You're working next to all this cooking equipment, and then you're kind of crammed in the kitchen sometimes. But if you can schedule the stuff, it's not bad, like at all. That's kind of why I like it so much. It's just I'm in and out. I do my thing, carry what I need in the van, and I usually get it going. Most of these, like True, you might have to order like True or Manitowoc. I don't carry everything, and sometimes they don't have what I need at the supply house. So stuff like that, you do have to get OEM parts, and you might have to wait a little bit for the part. But um, we use like Genie lifts and a lot of other stuff for heavy lifting. It's not that demanding. It's just that it's hot here in Texas all year round, over 100 degrees most days. So just try to keep covered, keep a wet towel on me. Um, it's the heat that'll get you, at least here. Dave, you got a set of 4 Nipix tools on a belt clip. So you got adjustable flat pliers, Cobra pliers, a wire cutter, a needle nose, extendable screwdriver with 11 bits, and the Malco, yeah, the Malco sockets. Sounds like a good loadout right there. If I know what I'm doing, like especially if it's electrical, if I'm just repairing electrical, um, changing out something like a contactor or a thermostat, I do have a small tool pouch that carries something like that, or I just need a plier, some cutters, uh, needle nose and strippers, and then like an all-in-one also. And I can get away with with that for a lot of electrical repairs. So I know not everybody can have like multiple tool bags, but I like to have one. I have 3. I have the big one, the backpack, when I'm on a roof that I don't want to be walking back and forth to the van. It's also for like compressor changeouts or coil changeouts, stuff like that. Or if we're doing a whole changeout on the system, I'll carry the backpack. I used to love backpacks, but I don't know. I got older and I didn't want to carry it too much. So then I got a small TPLC, I think it's called. It's basically their small version of the TPXL that everybody has, and it carries just what I need. And that one I can do maintenance, everyday calls, like if it's like changing out motors, adjusting for belts, um, stuff like that, coil cleaning. And then I have, like I said, the tool pouch, which is basically like a belt, one that clips onto my belt. And I just carry like 5 tools in it. And if I know what I'm doing, I just take that. A big flathead, yeah. You always have to have that one that you can hammer to. Everybody has one of those flat screwdrivers. Jesus, you tried the turbo torch, I'm assuming? I've had some people come up to me and tell me that they did the turbo torch setup because I had to do 2 videos on it because I don't know, my first one got screwed up, but man, ever since I switched to the turbo torch, it's made patch because I get a lot of leaks. A lot of my repairs in the past years or 2 has been like patch repairs. So in the evaporator, the lines coming up to the compressor, we've had a lot of leaks and rub outs and stuff like that. So having a turbo torch, it gets the job done. Now they're just loud, so I keep headphones on when I'm doing the turbo torch. If my brother's with me, I usually tell him like not to get too close. The thing is like it's just it's just loud. That's the only thing with it, and that's why I won't use it indoors because everybody will be like complaining and you know it's very loud. Yeah, they're better. That's why I like the oxyacetylene for most things. It's you can control it. I have a bad habit of not changing out the tips, so I just like kind of reduce it or increase it. I think I have a number 2 on there right now. So even if I'm doing little stuff, I just kind of like pull it back a little bit. You have a lot of control with the oxy acetylene. Tech Tech T. I have Milwaukee. I changed out to Milwaukee everything in my van. Eventually, I'll get to show it off. Um, I have the two drawer one only because I couldn't fit what I wanted to hold what I wanted it to hold in the 3 drawer. I kind of want to get the 3 drawer now, but I got the 2 and it holds all my like contactors, caps and things like that. I have some thermostats in there too, and I was able to put a lot in the 2 drawer one, but I love that thing. So I have that, and I converted everything. I have a tower in the back um, for the packouts, and I have different setups. I'll be dropping some videos on each one. If you guys follow me on TikTok or Instagram, I've already posted those. They're like 2-minute videos on each one individually, and then eventually I'll do the whole van setup to kind of show how I redid it. I took out a lot of stuff and then just kind of redid it from scratch. So Milwaukee packouts are like great for storage and just being organized. So that helped a lot. When I finish a job, even if I don't click everything back into the tower, I just go through the back because sometimes I'm like super tired, right? Um, as long as I put everything in the box or whatever packout I got it from, and I come down the ladder and I kind of just put it in the back, I can keep it in the back or click some stuff back. Um, and they don't have to go in any certain order. Like everything clicks together. So that's helped a lot with the organization and keeping it that way. So I've been really loving the pack out system. I was very hesitant to do it, and it's not cheap, but it's worked out great. Appreciate everybody hitting the like button. Uh, I got lost. Hold on. On the mini splits, Knipex wire stripper. I'm trying to get into Knipex and what's the other one that I got? Hvac. I've had a couple of their tools and they're really good. They're kind of like, I try to take care of them because they're on the more expensive end, but they feel great and they work great. Obviously, if you pay more, you get what you pay for. I haven't tried their strippers, but I've had their wire cutters and it cuts really well. But it's from Hvac. Knipex, I'm trying to get all their Cobra pliers and stuff like that. Um, just kind of waiting a little bit to get that because I have a lot of tools already. I don't want to like have too many to carry, so I'll work them in there. Tomas from Brownsville, what's up, dude? You're super close. Did you say you were having trouble getting a reading on the wires? Try some piercing probes. Oh, I want to say you're talking about the Intelligen. I have field piece meters, so they come with the Molex tips. So that's a great thing about field piece is they give you everything in the bag, like when you buy a meter from them and stuff. Um, Not sponsored today, even though they have sponsored some videos. Um, so actually, they did send me a meter that I already have a video out. So basically, I use those tips when I was checking the um, electronic expansion valve, but I can't picture it right now. But basically, the only way I could check it is if I disconnected the harness because it's plugged into the electronic expansion valve, the two wires to it, I think, or I don't know if it's one, but it has two connections, and then it's screwed in, like you have a screw holding it. So for me to check it, like the signal going to it, because it was a DC voltage that it's supposed to pulse out or something. If I ran it in test mode and I had my tips in there, I got the proper voltage. Um, but this was during a test mode. So what happened is it worked fine when I asked it for the signals, the board. The board sent out the right voltage and everything during the test mode, but when I ran it in cooling, it was not sending out any signals. So my electronic expansion valve was either staying closed or open, whatever like it was last in position. It wasn't sending the signal to open or close it. So, and it's not, I know it's not fully open or closed. It's like a step. So it's supposed to pulse it down or something and pulse it back up. And you have different steps. And I think even on startup, it has that, it like does it um, up and down. I don't know if it's calibrating or just, it's just like a startup that it does, but like it never sent the signal during cooling, which I can't check because, like I said, that thing is mounted on and screwed on. And the only thing I could have used is if I had the manual stepper, which because you can't use a solenoid magnet on it, even though it's like a solenoid expansion valve like hybrid. It's like 2-in-1. You need the tool from the manufacturer that lets you manually step it up and down. I didn't have that. I do need to get it because we are seeing them more often. That way I can manually open it or close it, but it's gonna still give me the same issue because on one end, if it's closed, the unit won't run. On the other end, if it's open, it'll never shut off. So I had one, I had both problems. I had one when it was closed first, and then when it another time that I had to go, it was fully open. So it just ended up being the board. There was nothing I could do about it. And on the board, I don't remember where the points are to check it, but that's something that I'll have to like read up on and just get more familiar with because that that customer is a franchise, like a nationwide account. So we service all their locations here in the Valley, and they buy their own equipment. So it looks like their choice of walk-in equipment is going to be Intelligent. And actually, the one that I want to do the Pro Press on is going to be another Intelligent unit. They already have it there. They finally got it in, so we're going to go do that soon. I just have to get the okay because, like, I don't know if you guys ever do work for these kind of franchises, but and I've heard other people like Rick and I think even Chris was complain about it. I know guys complain about it, but they have budgets, but it's because apparently if they go over their budget, they don't get their bonuses and stuff like that. So then that's where we run into those problems where like they have the equipment, but I have to get the okay to go in and put it in because then they got to pay us for the labor and everything that we use. I don't know. I don't think this one needs refrigeration. I mean, refrigerant. I think we can use what they have because it's just an upgrade from a 404 unit. But the unit's pretty trash. And it was, oh no, it's a freezer. So it's just an upgrade. What they had us do was put the condenser in first. So the condenser is running with the old evaporator. And now that they finally got the evaporator in, we're going to go back so we can pump it down and then just install the evaporator. No issues. But yeah, a lot of the franchise, you would think they pay more or they pay quicker, but they got budgets. They don't like to pay either. Managers are worried about themselves and their bonuses and what they're getting paid. So we still have to work around all this stuff. So what's up, Eddie? One tool you like to use a lot for kitchen repairs is a 1/8 extended Allen key to check and tighten fan blades and to use on bullet valves. Yeah, someone who was a subscriber, I think, gave me that idea. So I put it in my tool link because I've been using it, and a lot of guys ask me about it. So if you have that Klein, one of my favorite tools, and something that I can't be without now is the Klein Electrician's Ratchet. So it's that little ratchet with the opening at the end for like it's a thumb ratchet, and it's basically a reversible 1/4 inch 5/16. So you can, on its own, remove 5/16 and 1/4 inch screws and stuff, but you can also put bits on the 1/4 side, obviously, because those are the bits that we use. And you can use a Phillips or a flat or anything that you have as far as bits, and it works great. It's got me out a lot of jams. So like, I have a lot of screws that are up against weird components in the condensing unit, like pressure switches, pressure controls, and mechanical thermostats and stuff. Like they're all like in these weird corners. So if I can use that ratchet to take out the screws, it works great. I don't have a lot of room for like a stubby or a drill or anything, so that thing stays on my bag, and I use it like so much. And then it's also gotten me out of a jam when I'm using it with a Malco bit because you can throw a Malco bit in it, and if my drill or electric screwdriver is dead, throw the bit on there and you can start taking off, stuff quicker versus like a manual screwdriver. So that one is one of my favorites. And I got Allen key bits for it. And I just recently, or I got Allen key bits for it, and it was a set, but I only needed like 4 from there, I think. So I use that to take off fan blades, like he said, Jesus. Fan blades. I haven't used it on piercing valves yet. I don't like to use the piercing valves often, but fan it's good for fan blades, even pulleys when you got to adjust that stuff. Also, since they're Allen key bits, you can also use it on the valves for when you pump down the system. I've used it too. Even though I also have the refrigeration ratchet, I still need that tool, and I do have the key, but I lose the key a lot. So the thing with the Allen key bits with the ratchet is I have bit holders on my bag on the outside just clipped on. I can put those back and I don't lose them, but that little refrigeration ratchet key that we all have, I lose it because there's nowhere to put it. So now that's my backup. I use the Allen key bits more often when I'm doing a pump down because I have the bits that fit those service valves. So that ratchet comes in handy so much, and it's like one of my favorite tools. Recently, it helped. I don't know if it's going to be this week or next week's video, where I had the center mounted evaporators. And if you guys work on those, the one that sucks air up because the fans are on the bottom and it blows air out. To get to the motors, there's a whole cross beam type of thing. It's like enclosed and it has all the wires that go through. So like on a 5 motor evaporator, getting to the motor is kind of difficult because you got to kind of take apart a lot. But with that little ratchet, I was able to kind of get in there and sneak out all the little screws that I needed just for that motor. And then I was able to take it out from the bottom instead of worrying about the whole piece enclosure there with the wiring and disturbing any other motors. So it's come in handy like so many times. That's one that I would recommend a lot. John McMaster, what's up, dude? Thanks for dropping in. Fluke insulated tools. I don't actually know too much about Fluke. My dad is a Fluke guy, so he has like the meters and stuff. I just have Klein, everything. So finally got back to Klein after getting my tools stolen a couple times. I finally started buying Klein again. So I have the Klein, which comes in handy. I learned my lesson once. First time seeing a refrigeration rack, I have to work on I think it was like a walk-in freezer. So all the breakers are lined up against each other. All the timers are there too in that panel. Bunch of wires. I tried to go in and I don't know if I was tightening something or I wanted to disconnect something. And I think the contactors are there too. So everything's in that panel. And I didn't want to turn off something else because I just wanted to take it out because I either had to go get the part or something like that. This is a while back. And I was trying to be very careful, but then I kind of shorted out the next contactor or something. So I keep a Klein insulated reversible screwdriver now. And I like having it there, even though I don't use it all the time. If I ever have something live or I'm bumping a contactor, I have that. And if I ever have a refrigeration rack and I need to tighten or loosen something, I have that now. So that was like a lesson learned type of thing because I did short out something there. But when stuff like that happens, it sticks in your head. You'll never do it again, or at least you shouldn't. Are we live? Sorry about that, guys. Okay, I think we're fine now. I don't know what happened there. I'm from McAllen, Texas. I think that's what everybody knows. Basically, the Valley, South Texas, however you want to look at it. I'm at the very bottom. We neighbor Mexico, so I'm right here at the very bottom, basically. San Antonio, we're like 4 hours away from you, so we're 4 hours south. John Hvac, Napa Auto Parts, not a sponsor. Lil Chinga's big picture. What's up, dude? Jesus, solenoid magnets. I always have at least 2 on me. Um, yeah, when you're dealing with big kitchen refrigeration equipment, walk-ins, you gotta have a magnet. If my guys don't have one, I just give them one. It's easy to test out things or bypass it until you can get. Let's say the walk-in goes down because the solenoid gives out or the coil, and you don't have it. Throw a magnet on there, and then go drive and get one. And at least then you're not having the walk-in down for hours at a time, and it gets you by. Um, and it just helps you verify because you could think it's something, and then you don't know if the magnet is the solenoid coil is working or something, or you think the valve is stuck or something. But if you throw that magnet on there and you hear it go through, then you know that the valve's cool, and you can go on to something else. Also, I always wanted one of those little I don't know what you call it, but it's like a little keychain with it can read if there's a magnetic field and it spins. But I just recently had seen that if you have the Danfoss app, it has it built in. You can use your phone to see, and it acts the same way. It'll show you a screen with the little 2 half circles. And if you go up to a solenoid and it's on, it'll start spinning. So that's kind of cool. I don't have to buy that little keychain tool anymore. So yeah, solenoid magnets definitely. I actually have one in my bag. I just keep it on the handle of one of my channel locks. That way, if I ever need to quickly verify, I can just pull it off and throw it on. Kraus in the building, on the train, EEV in the cabinets. I use a magnet and rotate it to open or close it. It's 6 revolutions open or close. I have no idea. I need to look into it, how they work, those tools. But I think I just need to order one and kind of play with it. I've never seen stuff like that on a train. I barely saw like a heat pump. I barely saw I'm like behind in like the technology that some of you guys work on. Recently I just worked on a couple of 2-stage single compressors where that kind of like threw me off for a second, but I've seen people because I watch a lot of YouTube. I follow a lot of guys over on Instagram. If you come across a 2-stage single compressor, you have one that feeds basically one line that feeds the expansion valve. So you're gonna have a TXV, like on a carrier. I've seen them on carriers, and then there's gonna be a solenoid valve closing off the other side, which is gonna just feed the header there. So I'm learning new stuff too. Like I don't see a lot of this stuff, and when I run into it, it's all kind of the same thing. Refrigeration has one cycle. You have the same components, the compressor, the coils, a metering device. And if you know your basics, you can figure out anything and go from there. That's the good thing about this trade is if you're in it, I think you can figure out most of the equipment. Do you recommend SPPR6 hard start capacitors? Which one is that one? Like I said, I don't do a lot of split systems or single phase for that matter. Hold on. But I do want to start putting them in like here at our house. let's see. I do want to put hard starts in like our house, maybe my parents' house, and those help a lot with the amp draw, the compressor. It should keep it around longer. Yeah, so you're talking about a Subco one. I've never used it actually. The only thing I've used as far as that style from Subco is like for reach-in. So it's like the little ones that are like quarter horsepower to like half horsepower. And those I really only use them to get them by if I need to troubleshoot, get it going over the weekend, something like that. But those are just relays and capacitors. If you can get a good hard start kit, the ones I'm looking into are like the AMRAD stuff, because a lot of people use those. They tend to be universal, so you can get any capacitance you need on it. And I'm looking into them. We haven't had to use them. And a couple of times that I was going to use one, they ended up just buying new equipment because they were like trash. Anyway, like they didn't want to save the compressor or anything, so I haven't had to use it in that sense, except for small refrigeration equipment. Yeah, the rotation testers for the pumps and solenoid valves. Like I said, I got the one on my phone, so I'll try that out more. I've only used it a couple times. And yeah, you just saw it today on Instagram. I don't know who showed it. I've seen it, I think from Gary on HVAC Know It All. I've seen it. There were some guys recently that started posting about it. It's been out for a while. I have it on my phone. I just haven't. I've only used it like once or twice. The Klein Chingus Ratchet. Yeah, that thing's a lifesaver. I have it there in my front pocket on the troubleshooting bag, and it's great when you need it. Handyman worker, what's up? Shout me out. There you go. Cable clippers you use. I just started using it to keep zip ties. Oh yeah, like for storage, I use I think they're called cable cuffs. So they make like tiny ones that I think I use for wiring. So like on S-Mans, I don't have wireless clamps. I do have the old school. Basically, they come with wired clamps. I'm not gonna just throw them away. So my S-Mans have the wired clamps, and they get messy. So I have those little I think they're called cable cuffs, and they're just a little or cable organizer that clips. So like you put it around what you need, and then it clips in, and then like when you need it, you release it. I have those for that. I have extras. I'll try the zip tie thing. I hadn't thought about that. And I have the big versions to hang because the big versions you can get them at Home Depot. I do have them in my tool link. If you guys go to the description, I have everything that I use linked. They're going to be Amazon links or just other stuff, other websites, because some stuff is just online somewhere, like gloves that I use and stuff. But those you can find at Home Depot. So I clip I clip extension cords and hoses, like water hoses. And what else do I hang on there? I think that's it. Oh, and my rope. So I clip them, and on the big size, there's a hook part to it, and I just hang it on the window cage in the back of my van. So I've done that forever. The guys that have seen me on Instagram, they usually tag me in it. It's a great way to store stuff. And then the mini ones, if you find uses for them, like for cables or like zip ties, I think that's a good idea. That's cool. because I've tried other ways to handle my zip ties and it never works. So that's kind of cool because there's different increments. So if you clip it around and then like you take like zip ties out or whatever you're holding, you can clamp it down more so that you don't lose it. Thank you, Steph. Please smash the like button. I don't think I've ever said that, but smash it. HVAC Life, yes. Advanced Basher, you enjoy the videos? You're in the industry and love it. Great. I try to tell people it's a great trade. I know it's not for everybody, but I love it. I love what I do. Um, I like being a service tech over, let's say, an installer, even though I would love to do installations, just because you have, good time. Usually you have good time to do the quality work that you probably would want to do. Because like on service, you're rushed sometimes. Um, I just prefer service because of the traveling. I don't like being stuck in one spot for the whole day. Even though sometimes it's nice when you're working like close to home and stuff, but I like driving. I like going from spot to spot, getting calls done, in and out. The customers are always happy when you show up and like get it going. So I love that part. Installs are cool. I would love to do more. Maybe we'll get into that more in the near future, but for now, I love service. Jacob, installing a mini split this weekend. Any advice? Sorry to say I've never worked on a mini split, but they're like any other refrigeration equipment. Uh, are you doing it from scratch? Uh, is 4,000 too much for a customer to pay for a 12K uh, BTU mini split? Mm, it cost. It all depends on where you're at. If you're quoting out jobs, so I don't know if you work for yourself or you work with somebody. If you're quoting out jobs, make sure you overquote your hours because you never know what comes up. So get your hours quoted out, add another hour or two at least. Um, our customers require or they complain and we have to write everything out like detailed. But yeah, go over a little bit on your hours. Account for all materials. If you don't charge for something that you are going to use, like if you don't know what you're going to use, sit down and make a list. Like when we do a lot of change outs. We don't do fresh installs. So, hey, what's up, Rick? Um, we do a lot of change outs. So we're charging everything that we use. So we're charging for the vacuum, we're charging for the torches, like the gas, the rods that we're going to use, time that we're spending recovering and vacuuming, zip ties, wire connectors. You can do it as miscellaneous stuff, but charge for everything that you use because you don't want to be losing any money. You don't want to give them anything for free. So if that's good and it covers what you need to and you can make a profit that you feel comfortable with, that's great. So just remember though that you're always going to have, or you usually have, something that comes up or something that may take you some time and you're going to go over maybe the labor that you thought it would take. Like sometimes I go in and I'm like, oh, I'll knock it out in 2 to 3 hours. And it ends up being a 4 to 5 hour job. So just make sure you take that into account and always go over on your quotes. You would not want to be dealing with the bare minimum. And that's how you kind of screw yourself. So just if that's what's good for you and that makes you money, then do that. I'm not sure if you're talking about 4,000 with the unit and everything done. That might be in range. If you guys are familiar with mini splits, you can chime in. Don't leave it all on me. Tactile, yes. Service. Trying different restaurants every day. I kind of stopped that. I was gaining too much weight. So be careful what you eat when you work in restaurant refrigeration or whatever you want to call it. We used to do the IHOPs. I had IHOP every day for the longest time, which was not good. So I tried to pick something that wasn't horrible, like sandwiches or something. But if you work somewhere, like we had a wing place, well, we've had wing places before. If we have a wing place, that's my weakness, and I will go for wings all the time. Or pizza. We had a pizza place too that would always offer us pizza, like a little mom and pop pizza place, which had great pizza. Let me get back to where I was. Appreciate you guys dropping in. We're doing pretty good on views, so looks like y'all are going to have me doing this every week. Where was I? Like I said, I'll keep this up, live streams, and then they go to, I'm going to rip the audio and have these up as podcasts. So I'm trying to have it as organized as I can, where it's something you can listen to also. But yeah, like I said, if people come in and we have chatting, a lot of activity like we are today and last week, I'll keep doing it. You can hold me accountable for that. Oh, I think you've recommended that to me before, maybe the Hvacr 76085. I need to look into that. I'm trying to build up some of the foreign stuff, I guess, like the Hvacr, the Knipex or Knipex. I know Wera is another one. So I'm looking into, kind of stepping up. I got all the Klein stuff that I kind of needed to get after replacing my tools. So we're gonna, if you have any suggestions, like I said, I was supposed to go on the tool topic, but I kind of got distracted with the live chat here. For me, advanced basher, you said that the Fluke T56 5600 meter, and a 12-in-1 screwdriver pocket, induction voltage tester, and the low side gauge. Yeah, I'm not sure which meter that is. Like, I don't know. I'm just looking up everything you guys are recommending. Like I said, my dad is the Fluke guy, so he has Fluke meters. I think that's the one that he has. Yeah. So my dad, he's stubborn on that one. I've tried to give him a couple other meters, like a field piece, and then he ends up giving it to like one of the other guys, and he goes back to Fluke, and he'll buy another Fluke if it ever craps out on him. And that's the one that he has. Now, is there one that reads voltage on the end over there, on the open end? Because that would be cool. I think there is one. I don't know if it's that one. Ice cream guy, extended T-handle. I just got some T-handles, or new ones, and I have them there in the back if I ever need them. Yeah, they're good for the stubborn fan blades, I would say, because if they're fairly clean and new, and I'm talking about like refrigeration, so like I use them a lot more on walk-ins. So if I'm changing out, the small blades and motors, my Ratchet does great because it'll come out easy. But sometimes they're hard to reach. You got the blades that are since they have to blow a certain way, the blade might be on backwards, and then you got the set screw in between the blade and the motor, and you only have so much space. So yeah, T-handles are clutch. That's one of those that, like I said, it's good to have. You might not use it every day, but you're glad when you have it. So I have some. I just got like a new set that well, they're kind of cheap, but they're there if I need them. Hvac flaring tool. Do you have the flaring block? I see people with those blocks that you can throw a drill and kind of like drill it in and out and make the flare. I had the old school one that you got to twist, and I think that's still the only one that I have. I don't do flares. When I first got into the trade and I started doing stuff, there were times that I had to do flares for service valves. So like on the compressor that had like a rotor lock, or sometimes it would be soldered in there too, and you had to connect the pipe to it. It used flare fittings, so that's the only time that I used it. Now, if I ever come across a compressor like that, most of the time we're soldering it. I'll get a new rotor lock that I can solder instead. So I don't know. I don't really do the flares too much, but if you guys are doing mini splits, I know those are like lifesavers, especially if you can use a drill to do it. The little spin bits that I have, so I have the bits, and I keep those, even though I have a hydraulic swager, I keep the spin bits in my backpack. So if I'm up on a roof and we're doing a change out, a big project, um, anything like that, I usually have my drill when I'm doing that. And instead of like, if I have a long ways to the van and I don't want to get the hydraulic, I use a little spin bits. It's just a bit that goes on your drill. I don't have any that are the impact ones that can snap in. These you need like a drill that you can like tighten. They're just regular bits. They're like round or hex round bits. And if I need to make a quick swage, I use my drill. It just spins and heats up the copper like as it's spinning, and then you can make a swage real quick. It's a little tougher because I only have an impact, or I have an impact and I have a drill, but they're not like super strong or anything. So it is tougher on a bigger size when you're swaging, but they're good to have. I use them a lot. Then I finally bought the hydraulic swager from Hvac, which I'm a big fan of. I have their swaging toolkit. I have I had their battery powered vacuum pump. I gave it to my brother since I got the Philippines one. But I don't know. I don't know if you answered me, but um, I don't know if you have the block flaring kit or what is it, the battery powered one. Hvac is killing it with the battery powered stuff. They just came out with the battery powered swaging kit, which if that was available when I was looking, I would have bought that one for sure, probably. But they told me that I could keep the kit from the hydraulic, and then I think there's an adapter that you can use the different heads with the battery powered one, because they're a little different, but you can retrofit if you already have the heads from the hydraulic, which, I mean, they're doing cool stuff. So damn it, I'm taking too long with the chat. Yo, Mike HVAC, McAllen. I think that's what everybody knows. I don't think I'm from Mission, Texas, but I don't think you know Mission, Texas. Everybody knows McAllen, so we're here in the Valley. Are you from Texas too? I got a lot of people that hit me up from Texas. We're South Texas, so like down by the border. That's about right for an easy mini split. The lines go down outside to the unit below. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that It sounded like it was in range. Jacob. 5. Oh, he asked also 5 most useful HVAC tools. So aside from like gauges, I don't even want to recommend a certain gauge or probe or anything. I think everybody has their own take on that now. I think with all the refrigerants that we use, it's probably good to go with digital gauges or digital probes, whichever you prefer. So, well, I guess we'll include it. You need a manifold of some sort. When you start, it's probably easier to get a manifold than going probes right away. But if you want to learn to go with probes, you can do that. It's easier to do everything on a manifold, and you don't even have to get like a 4-port. I have used my manifold to vacuum, even though it's not great. But if you get a 3-port manifold, you can charge. You can check your refrigerant. You can charge, like topping off or adding refrigerant to a unit. Technically, you can vacuum. Like an S-Man, I don't know if all of them are like that, but the S-Man has a micron gauge built into theirs. So like I said, technically you can vacuum. It's just going to take a while. It's super important to take out those Schrader cores. And that's another cool tool to have, is a core removal tool. I think somebody mentioned it, so I'll get to it right now. But manifold, you're going to need like a crescent wrench. Easiest way to take off flares and caps and different things. You don't want to be damaging anything like that. So a crescent wrench or a pliers wrench, right? Yeah. So you can take off caps and different things. Obviously a meter. I prefer field piece. Everybody's different. A folding thermometer, if you do HVAC. You want to check your temperature splits. What else do I have? The little Klein ratchet. I've really been liking the 7-in-1 flip socket from Klein. So if you haven't seen my video on that, Jacob, I have a video on that, and then you can add so much to it, and then use a handle from the other Klein that they have that has all the bits in the handle. I don't remember how many in one. It's like an 18-in-1 or something. If you combine those two, game changer. And I've been a big fan of the Klein flip sockets right now, because you can even buy you can buy the Malco ones. You can buy the Klein 1/4-inch 5/16 flip, and they're super useful because you can throw in 1/4-inch bits, like if you need a Phillips, a flathead, or anything like that. So I think Klein right now makes the best one out of them all. So I'm glad that they started doing that. What else is in my bag? Oh, the Crescent wrenches that I have that are 8-in-1, or not 8-in-1. 1, 2, 3. There are 2 wrenches, 8 sizes. So I use that a lot for adjusting belts, like the motors, the tension, and things like that. And then if you ever have, any bolts that you need to take off, those are really good. To take off my compressors, I do use a impact with a socket adapter. So I take those out like that. But the 8 sizes and the 2 wrenches is really good. Like I said, for blowers, belt tension, stuff like that. Is the Appian core removal tool the best core removal tool out of all the brands? Now, I just got them, and I really like them. I'm just going to say that. I've been meaning to ask around. I don't know if you guys have had any experience with this, but like I think the think the most common issue is that they leak. So, um, I had the yellow jacket, which was fine. Well, no, I didn't have the yellow jacket. What's the other blue one? Um, AccuTools, because I got the blue hose and it came with it in the kit. That one's been pretty good. And then I had the C&D ones. I think that's the brand, because that's what my supply house used to like only have, and they were okay. I don't think they were great. So going from those to the Appian ones, I feel like the quality is way better. Um, so I would prefer the Appian ones right now. I've only used them like once because I just bought them. Um, but the quality is really nice. They they look like they don't leak, and the port where you would hook up your like micron gauge and stuff, I like that the cap is attached to it. So like if you remove the cap, it just hangs there. I think that's a nice touch because I always lost the caps like pretty quick, and I hate to keep them uncapped or anything because I don't know, that's just me. So I do like the Appian one. So I'm gonna try them out a couple more times. Yeah, Advanced Basher was like the Appian ones work very good. Also, the Appian ones have the magnet on the core remover part that comes out that you remove the cores with, and then like when you don't use it, like when you're gonna vacuum, you can just stick it on the unit because it has a magnet. That way you don't misplace it. Throw it in. I've had some fall in the water or mud because there's all this crap on the roof. Or if you're working outside in the dirt, I don't want that thing to get dirty because you're gonna be putting it in the system when you put the shredder back in. So I like that it has a magnet. I think they have the magnet, and I think Yellow Jacket might have a magnet. But the other ones I've had don't have that feature. So I think that's a cool feature. Backo is awesome. I think that's, I don't know that brand actually, for wrenches. The ones I have are Crescent. Yeah. I almost got the Uei Speed E electric screwdriver just for the F of it. 240. Damn. Yeah. I think I had seen, I want to say I saw Tito buying that or asking, and he bought it off somebody used. And I think I looked it up, and I was like, hell no, I'm not paying that either. Yeah, man, I can't do that either. I have my impact, and then I have a cheap electric screwdriver. That's just the way I do it. And I've seen some of these electric screwdrivers from like big brands, and they're like, I can't justify the cost. Cross. Oh, your pops also with the fluke? I don't know. It's a thing. Um, Fluke and Klein. Yeah, that's my dad too. I kind of wanted to try the Fluke, but I don't know the field piece. They're super thin. They fit in the bag super easy, so I've never had an issue with them personally. I'll keep, using them. Let's see. Field piece is better for HVAC. Magnets. Oh yeah, magnet strap. I think most of them have that, but yeah, they have. I like the magnet strap. I have several of their meters, and I like them all. Dual display, amps and volts. Yeah, I love the dual display on that um, meter on those meters. When you're checking different things, it's nice to have all the information just right on the display instead of switching through or checking something else. And narrower. Yeah, they're super narrow. Um, they're a little tall, but like you gotta, you're gonna make them narrow, they're gonna go taller, and that's fine with me. They fit in my bag. Like I said, I have the TPLC, and it's fine. I have one in my TPLC, and I have one in my backpack. No issues with jamming it in there. Jason Nelson, I asked Veto to make an oxygen acetylene tote. I think it would be popular. And you gave him a sketch. Cool. I don't know if I saw you mention it somewhere because somebody had asked them. If you mentioned it in a comment, I might have seen it because I saw somebody say that, and I was like, man, that would be so cool. Um, like right now, I have a tank holder for my acetylene for the turbo torch. I don't really like it too much, so I'm trying to figure out if there's something else I can use instead, or maybe I can like kind of build something out of that one that I already have. Um, if they could come up with something on the oxyacetylene, that'd be cool too. Just in general, like we have to carry acetylene if you're using turbo torch, oxygen and acetylene if you're doing that setup. Uh, and for now, my nitrogen, I just kind of throw it over my shoulder and go. I haven't seen anything for that personally. But yeah, Vito could get into like some of that other stuff for us to carry because they do so much. That would be so awesome. As long as our batteries are common. I had a field piece that took watch style batteries. It was an old one that I had picked up from the warehouse, our warehouse. Yeah, that kind of sucked. For the most part, it's either 9 volt or AAA, I think. The only one that kind of sucks is a scale because it takes so many, and I think they're all AA. So when that dies, that sucks. Yeah, I think everybody wanted them to do a torch tote. I've seen that, and nobody really does that because even right now, like I said, I'm looking for something for my turbo torch. Now I know they make one, a tote for the acetylene, but it's like crazy expensive, and I don't think it's even that great. That red one, I don't know if it's a turbo torch product or what, but that's the only one that I've seen, and it kind of sucks. Have you ever tried swage bits with the M12? My impact, yeah. So I have an impact. I have two impacts because they came in a kit. Um, Basically, I have an adapter. What do you call it? Like the drill adapter. I forgot what it's called. Damn, I can't think right now. I have an adapter that I can use other bits in my impact if they're not for the impact. So it, opens and closes, and I put my spin bits in there, and it works. I've shown it before. I don't know if I have any other videos on it. I think I was gonna do a couple of new ones for TikTok, but I'm gonna start putting them on the channel too, in case I know they don't get a lot of views, but I know some people like to watch the little tips and stuff. So I'll start posting more on here too. Um, it doesn't work great. It's a little slow. It can jam, but they work. So on smaller copper, like up to 3/8 and half inch, like the 1/4 inch too, like it does them quick. It does them pretty easy. Once you start getting into the bigger sizes, you're gonna have to go in, not all the way, like don't push on it all the way, kind of like warm it up. Uh, then once it starts going, you're gonna kind of have to like swirl it a little bit and then push it down. And it just takes a little more effort, but I didn't have a drill at the time, or I still don't have one. I need to buy a like an actual drill. I only have the impacts, and I made it work. Now I used to have Ryobi. I completely ditched that, and they worked with my Ryobi drill too. So that one wasn't super strong either. And yeah, it does work. Because some people have asked me, and I've done it in videos, and I think they kind of are like, "Oh, that didn't look too easy," but with a little elbow grease, it works, and it beats. Or at the time, at the time, that's all I had. I had bought I had the hand one where you crank your swages out, and then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get the spin bits because they're like $100. And at the time, that's all I had, so like, I didn't care. Like, I was like, I did my quarter inch, 3/8 real quick, half inch, and then like on the bigger ones, I just had to work at it a little bit, and then it made the swage. So um, I'm not gonna complain too much. That's all I had. Battery powered flare would be the way to go if you did a lot. Yeah, so I see a lot of guys like on Instagram that do the mini splits, and they do a lot of them, especially in like bigger cities, like up there by New York, where that's kind of like what they go to. Here, it's really cheap to change out rooftop units, get new rooftop units put in. I know some places that's not ideal, and mini splits is very popular now. So if you do mini splits, um, or anything that requires flares, but I'm thinking mini splits is the main reason. The battery powered one is cool. I really want the battery powered swage also. I think that the whole battery like system that they have is cool. I have the vacuum pump. I gave it to my brother. Like I said, I'm using the fill piece. I just have to hook up my cheater cord to use it when I'm only using a vacuum. Like if a system, it was nice to have the battery powered if the system had already like dumped out the charge, or if we're doing something that was already pre-charged and we just need to vacuum the lines. It worked really well for kitchens and tight spots. So I like their vacuum pump too, the battery one. You're up the road. Oh, you're in Victoria. Awesome. You've been to Mission once. Oh, you did some power line work. Cool. The M12 with the Malco bit is top 3. Yeah. I still have a bunch of Malco bits. I started buying the Klein ones, but I still have Malco bits. Always have to have one on me. Those are great. First year on analog and then get a digital. Yeah. When you start, getting analogs are super easy, right? Most of them are like $100 or so. They vary depending on what version or brand you get, but they're relatively cheap compared to like 500 or whatever you pay for digital. Even the probes are pricey. I mean, the probes are usually worth getting in a kit. That kit can run you $500 as well and up. Uh, so yeah, if you want to get, or if you're starting out, if you don't know what to get analog. If you're looking for a job and you want to get your tools ahead of time, don't put down $500 or so right away. Just go get you some analogs. Get you all the tools that you need under $500. Like a lot of the all-in-ones from Klein are good to have. A meter. You can get a relatively cheap meter from Fieldpiece because they make different models. So you can get a basic one, and then get some analogs, and you'll be fine. Now, if you're doing analogs, just make sure you have. I have ball valve adapters on my hoses, so I can close it off when I'm taking off the hose. If you don't have any built in, it's fine. Just go get the adapter. I have yellow jacket ones, and they work great. Because the only thing with the hose is like whatever size of hose you have, like how many feet it is. when you're taking off your high side, that's full of liquid refrigerant. So just make sure you don't burn yourself. You close off the ball valve and you'll be good to go. It's easy to take them off. If you don't have anything on there, you're gonna hurt yourself. I used to use the little quick disconnects that were just like the fat ends, but those always ended up leaking on me. So I just switched to ball valve adapters, and or if you can get them built in, that's great too. And if you're going to use analogs, you're going to need a PT chart. So I have a physical one because I used to get them all the time from different places. Or you can use an app. I have one that's just called, I think it's called Hvac PT chart. I have an iPhone. I just downloaded it, and I use it often. My supply house, Johnstone, used to have it built in on their app, but I don't think they do anymore because it was the same exact PT chart. And I'm sure Danfoss, they do a lot of those apps, and I think they have one too, or it's built into theirs. So if you're going analog, just make sure you have a PT chart, or maybe you only do 410 and maybe a little R22 or something. I do refrigeration, so I have 404, R22, 410A, 407C, 134A, and then we're getting into I'm barely starting to see R290. And then there was a time where we were seeing weird refrigerants that were drop-ins. So having digital makes a lot more sense now. Whereas before we only had 3 refrigerants. Now we have so many. So you are going to need digital eventually. Unless you're, like I said, strictly 410A and R22 or something. Because I have a pair of analogs that has 410, R22, 134, and 404, which are the main ones that I come across. So I get away with it too. Uei, yeah, that's the one that I get. I just bought a whole bunch of them because I lost 2. So I bought a whole bunch to replace. The Uei folding thermometers are great. I don't know why they don't make them all folding, because it's kind of dumb to have, that stuff sticking out of your pocket so high or making holes in your pocket. So that's kind of I prefer the folding type. I know Fieldpiece makes one too, but that one is kind of pricey. We just bought a valve core depressor. Yeah, so that would be a tool, a must-have tool, some sort of depressor that's a low loss fitting. So I have not tried the thumb core or thumb depressors, whatever they're called. They look cool, and I think they come in handy for certain areas, because I have service valves sometimes on walk-in coolers that are side by side, and you can't even fit a hose, or it barely fits. So if you add an extension, it wouldn't fit. So those thumb depressors, the ones that I think you screw them open and close. They're basically, I think, 90s. So that would be cool. Basically, have some sort of low loss fitting, because Jesus said, he always has a problem with refrigerant bursting out. That's a big issue that maybe not everybody talks about, because you don't want to get refrigerant burn. It is a pain in the ass, or it hurts. It's just as bad as getting burned by fire, or even worse. And yeah, so wear gloves, have some sort of low loss fitting, and I said it. Well, I'll do it. I'm doing a video on it, so but a short video. And I said you got to commit. So that's one thing I learned in school is they have you hook up in school, right, to do your checks and stuff, and they want to know if you know how to check and hook up your hoses. So I'm there and they're like staring at you the whole time. Like everybody has to do it one by one. You have to fully commit, right? So when you're hooking up a hose, just go in there and like fully commit to getting it on or getting it off. If you stop in between and you get scared and you take your hand off for any reason, that thing's already gonna like start spitting out and you're gonna be screwed. You're either gonna lose a lot of charge and you're gonna have to waste some back in, or you're gonna hurt your hand by freezing it. And just don't be a hero if for any reason that happens where refrigerant's coming out and you can't touch it. Just leave it alone, let it dump out. You don't want to have long-term issues with your hands and stuff. You don't want to lose your hands. I think our hands and our brain are the most important tools that we have. Yeah, the 7-in-1, I love that one, dude. So that flip socket, I use it every day, basically. The Atkins thermometers. I don't, it sounds familiar. And they read the fastest. Yeah, that's another thing is how fast can a thermometer read, right? The UEI ones are pretty decent. It doesn't lag too much there. It'll keep up pretty good. Duke Shadows, you got your journeyman's license. Awesome, dude. Where are you from? I know like every state is different with their whole license. What do you call it? Their whole rules and stuff. In Texas, we have license, but I know like a lot of states don't even require a license with it, which is just like crazy to me. Where was I? Shit. C and D is okay. Yeah, like that's what I got from it. I had a couple of their tools, like the removal tools and stuff. I think I had their magnet, their solenoid magnet too, and they all kind of broke down after a while. They didn't last too long. They told you wouldn't make it, and you got the license 3 years later. Dude, that's awesome. That's like me. Like I got mine as soon as I could. So it was like 4 years into the field. Got my requirements done, um, studied, failed it a couple times, but I got it. That's awesome, man. Getting a license is it's cool to have if you're starting a business, but even if you're not, if you want to get it out of the way, get it ahead of time. It might give you a pay bump. You might get a raise out of it. So it's good if you want to get it and you have the ability. You can get the books. Um, like I went to school too, so I had financial aid and different things. Like I took advantage of it and got it right away. Having amps and volts at the same time, yeah, it helps on electric heat kits. Yeah, I think the thing's awesome. When I'm checking multiple things, amperage and voltage is really cool to have on the display, the field piece. Uniweld has a minimal oxyacetylene carrying tote. I'm pretty happy with the one that I have. I have the Victor one. I'm happy with it. Um, what I'm looking for right now is a simple acetylene solution, which I do kind of have one, but it doesn't strap in that well. I need to like maybe make a handle for it because like carrying it is kind of awkward. So that's the only thing. But yeah, maybe if I could minimize my oxyacetylene, I would use it more often or not regret taking it because I hate taking it up to like the roofs and stuff. It gets pretty heavy. Might work better with a bigger M12 impact and M12 drill. Yeah, that's what I had gotten. I know they're releasing a lot of new Milwaukee stuff that I want. We'll see which ones I get. I mean, I'm looking for a drill because I have 2 impacts right now. I gave my drill to my dad for like he wanted it for like minor stuff, and I didn't need it. I wanted something else, so I'm in the market for a good drill right now, and they're coming out with a lot of stuff. Valve core depressors are what you put on your gauges. Yeah, so anything that minimizes and is low loss, would definitely recommend. A lot of hoses now come with the ball valve on it, or you can buy hoses like that, but if you don't, definitely get one, especially with the 410. That one's a pain in the ass to get your hoses off. SoCal Felipe, what's up, dude? Happy you came by. I know we're running kind of long. I'm trying to catch up with the chat, and we'll see. Spring summer promo, you can pick up a field piece 200 and a yellow jacket manifold for 200 bucks. That's nice. Yeah, field piece does a lot of those spring and summer promotions. That's when I bought my stuff, my probes and my manifold, because they go down a lot in price over that time. Same thing with like the Veto. They do spring promotions, so I don't know. It seems like spring and summer are the times to buy the expensive stuff that you've been looking at. But yeah, that's definitely a good deal for the for that kit. Where am I? Charles. Oh wait. G. Cano, use the procedure to clear out your hose. Yeah, I've shown it, I think. And like I said, I was gonna do some videos on it, like TikTok videos, I guess. But I'll start posting that stuff on my YouTube channel too. Like I said, I don't get a lot of views with the short videos, but I'll have them on there and I'll kind of put them in a playlist. That way you can go to that section, and if you want to just look at quick tips, there'll be a whole playlist of just tips like that. I'll also have another one for pack outs that I've used and storage options. Like I'll have short videos that are just straight to the point, and I'll have them categorized and like organized if you want to go and just watch those, because usually on my long service videos I throw tips and stuff in there, but if you're looking for something in particular, I'll have the short videos that are like 2 minutes or something, and they'll be in a playlist. So I'm gonna do that. I'm getting to that. The procedure is basically closing your tank if you're topping it off or adding charge, and then letting the compressor suck it through the suction port. And then if you take off your high side and you have either a low loss fitting or a valve that you close off, you can do the same thing too. That way you're not taking out much, basically just whatever you had in the as a burst. But in your high side and then on the charging hose, it's usually liquid, so you want to put that back in. So you disconnect or close off any valves, then you open up your low side and you can let everything back into the system, and don't waste refrigerant that way. Trying to catch up here. Appreciate the guys that are still here. We had a pretty good turnout again. So like I said, if this keeps up, I'll keep having to do these live streams. Just remember to check the description if you guys are looking for any links, tool recommendations, shirts and hoodies I have now. A lot of guys bought them over the weekend. If you have a business, I have the Jobber link for a discount. And if you guys are buying gas, you can get cash back. It goes directly. I have it going directly to my PayPal, and I just made like $200. It's for personal and company gas. You just have to upload the receipt. All that say. Let's see. Oh, simple rides overdrive. What are some tips for apprentices getting started? Uh, Damn, there's a guy that just started on YouTube that is doing apprentice stuff. He does a lot of YouTube shorts. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. Um, it's like an apprentice guide or something for HVAC. I don't. He changed his name recently, and I don't remember what it is. If you guys know who I'm talking about, uh, let me know. Or can I check real quick? Hold on. Let me see if I see him real quick. Oh yeah, the Apprentice Survival Guide. So if you guys want some tips, I mean, I'll give you some right now. Hold on. I think his channel is pretty good. It's a lot of shorts, straight to the point, and it's like his journey for an apprenticeship, I guess. He's an apprentice. And a lot of what he says, like I agree with. I have not seen a lot of his videos yet. I just saw a few. So the Apprentice Survival Guide is a good channel maybe to check out. Okay, hold on. But as far as tips, you guys want to, are you going to put a list of tools? All my tools are linked in the description. Let me look real quick. So if you look down below, I have the first link tree, which has everything, but I know some guys maybe don't click it. So underneath that, tool recommendations is where I have everything. Basically, if you go in there, it's all organized. I need to organize it a little bit more, but it's organized by hand tools, specialty tools, safety gear even, and storage stuff, water hoses. Everything that I use is in that tool recommendation link. Now back to what I was saying. Oh yeah. So as far as what I would advise an apprentice, if you're starting somewhere, you want to be early, right? So if you get a job somewhere, you get an apprenticeship somewhere, try to be early. That just shows, that you're ready to work. Try to have some hand tools. Like we were talking about earlier, you can start with a manifold, like an analog manifold, and then just some hand tools that you need. I do have a video on what you need to start with, tools that you need to start with. It's an old video, so maybe I'll do an updated one eventually. But maybe just have some hand tools, a little tool bag. It doesn't have to be expensive. They would just see that as that you're ready to work. Being early, having your tools means you're eager to start. Just things like that. So once you're working there, the main thing you need to do is just observe everything. You need to listen. You need to help as much as you can, even though you don't know what you're doing. So you can help by getting things from the van that the tech needs, packing up as you go, cleaning as you go, having stuff ready, like if you know that you need to swage, bend anything, have that stuff ready to go for the tech, so you can just hand it to him and he does what he needs to do. And then you need to ask and talk to your tech. Now, hopefully, you get a tech that tells you everything that he's doing. That would be ideal. But you basically, you need to know what, if you're riding along with somebody, you need to know what it is they're doing on the service call and why. And then if you can nail that and learn like that, that'll prepare you to go on your own, because you need to be able to do the same type of calls as the guy that you're with. Um, so yeah, just like I said, know what he's doing and why. That's a big thing, and just ask questions. Hopefully he tells you, or he explains to you what you need. Now, don't bother him too much if he's in a mood, if he's frustrated, if he's tired. So like if you ask him a question and he doesn't answer you right away, hopefully he tells you like, just give me a second, or let me finish this. Or hopefully, like, if y'all are in a rush or something, and then he does whatever he does, just observe, and then maybe he can explain to you afterwards on the drive or anything like that. Because if if you bother him on the call and you bug him too much, that could be a problem. So ask questions, but if he's not answering or he doesn't want to at the time, wait till after the call. Charles, you need those HVAC tactical sleeves. He sold out. I wanted to buy more. He's working on a version 2. I don't know when that's going to come out. So if you need some already, like, I use them every day. I have a whole bunch of other brands. It is in my tool link for an Amazon link, but it's safishing.com. So the brand is SA Fishing. They call them arm shields, and I have a bunch of theirs. So I was buying those before. I bought his and I liked him, but he sold out. He's waiting till he gets a new, I guess, the next version of them before he sells them again. Because I was gonna go back and buy some more, but they've been sold out. So there, and I think I do have the Warrior gloves linked in that tool recommendation section. Um, they're comparable to like Milwaukee gloves, but I don't like buying bright red gloves. So he has those. It's on his website. I want to say it's just um, warriorhvac.com or something. But I have it linked. If you want to check the tool link, under safety gear, I have both of those things that you asked for linked so that you can check them out. Jesus, yeah. So the easiest way to find a leak is look for the oil. So when it leaks out, you're gonna look for stains. You always have a trace of oil somewhere. The PT feature is what I normally use. Oh, so they do have it in the app. The Accu tools, core depressor tools are nice, really well built. Keep them with my job link probes for the old root and ream and hard to access ports. I need to get some. I think that's the brand that I was looking into also. Also, quick question for you guys. If you guys deal with package units, what do you guys use on the Cormax fittings when you're trying to pull a vacuum? So right now I'm just using my ball valve adapters because they're depressors basically, but I don't think they're vacuum rated. I don't know if you guys have anything that you guys use, because the Cormax, if you guys didn't know, they don't have shredders to remove. So you need something that depresses it. I prefer to use my blue or my true blue hoses, and they do not have depressors. I don't know if they sell any for that kit, but if you guys use anything for the Cormax, let me know. Like I said, right now I'm just using the Yellow Jacket ball valve, which I know is not great for that. In California, a journeyman made it through a union as an apprentice contractor passes a state test to do business at any rate. Congrats to the new journeyman. Simple ride, overdrive. You said the reason for the question is you got hired as a commercial service tech and you were curious. Thanks. No problem. I think, well, I'm kind of biased. I love commercial. So, congrats. And like, yeah, just like I said, ask questions, be early, and try and do all the things that they ask of you. The only thing keeping me from getting my license is having to carry the insurance. Would like to get it so I can have my own accounts at the supply house for little side jobs, but thousands of dollars a year. Got to do a lot of work just to cover that. Yeah, the insurance, they get you with that. Side jobs, as long as you're doing it for friends or family or people that don't care, don't worry about it. Getting worse next year. You have to carry a workman's comp, even if you're a one-man band. Everything's getting worse, dude. The Gen 3 M12. They haven't dropped yet. I thought they were dropping already, but yeah, that's what I had seen. I think it was a Impact that looked nice, and I'm looking for a drill, so I'm gonna look for the drill too. Handyman, hello from California. Appreciate you stopping by. Still got a lot of people watching. I might end this soon. I'm just trying to get all the comments. Felipe, I always answer questions to the new guys. I'm not a dick like that. I like to share my knowledge. It's like, I don't know if it's 50-50, but some people, even online, don't like to give out information. Like it's like a secret or sacred, or they want to get compensated for it or something. I don't know. That's perfectly fine if you just want to go do your job and go home and not deal with anybody. But if you are starting out and you get a tech and you can answer or you can ask questions and have answers to everything, that's awesome. Like we have helpers sometimes, or even my brother doesn't know as much as I do, or my dad even. Like my dad does not do HVAC. So if I'm there and they're asking me, I might tell them, hold on a little bit. I'm thinking, I'm concentrating, I'm frustrated, but give me a few minutes or give me till the end of the call till we figure it out and I'll answer everything. Or as I'm going, I'll try and like talk about what I'm doing, which is basically what I do with the YouTube channel. Is if I go on a call, I'm just like kind of thinking out loud. So, yeah, basically, don't be a dick. Cool. You'll check the links. Awesome. Thank you guys for the likes. Remember to leave a like on your way out if you guys are leaving. I know a lot of you are still in here. Knee pads. I'm barely getting into knee pads. Damn it. I need to get some, but I kind of want to get the work pants that I have for the inserts. I think that would be better for me. I kind of want something minimal because I've tried the big knee pads and I can't do that. I get uncomfortable, but I don't know. That's when I started. Maybe I should get back into it and try something like good quality, and maybe I'll like it because we kneel down a lot. So I do have a kneeling pad, like a foam pad. Hardly use it. I got one from my dad, and Loved it because he works in kitchens too. You know, he's on the floor checking fryers and different things. So I'm gonna get back into or try knee pads or something. Knee Pro, I'll look into that. Because you're either kneeling down a lot, hurting your knees, or the other day I tried to sit and kneel on a metal roof. And it was so damn hot. It like burned through my work pants. And my work pants are like double stitched or double material. So you could tell how hot that was. Let's see. I was thinking that maybe one day you can have a link for a PDF. I'm going to RCC HVAC school to add to my electrician work. A PDF, so like just a list of things. I'll look into that. There's a shortage of techs because because all my FUDs of the trade are retiring. Nobody wants to train anymore. Yeah, it sucks. Some guys, you know, they're into that. They like towards the end of the career, if they can just train, they're cool with that. But not everybody's like that. I don't know. It is an issue, but you just have to. There's so many great resources now, so if you get online, you can kind of train yourself a little bit. For tools, yeah, like if I have a list, you want it in like a downloadable, I'll look into that. Oh, Ruben, we got a new member. So yeah, I forgot. I have a link to my channel membership. It starts at 199, so $1.99. So it's just super cheap. It helps the channel. I'm like right now I need to invest in some live streaming stuff, mic and stuff, because obviously you guys are coming in. So appreciate you, Ruben. I'll add you to the list. I have shouted them out before. Uh, and right now you get a little gray refrigerant tank. The longer you're a member, you um, work your way up to the different flavors. So like there's R22, there's 404, 410. I have all the badges as different refrigerants. Uh, no problem. You got great stuff. I appreciate it, man. I'm trying to post more, trying to do more stuff for you guys. Um, you know, support's been awesome. There's still guys in here watching. I appreciate you. I know I've been running a long time. I need to probably end it already. Like I said, I really appreciate you guys for being here. I think we're gonna wrap this up. I gotta work in the morning. I don't know how late it is for you all. But yeah, we tried to stay on topic. We had a bunch of great input as far as like what tools you guys recommend. So I recommend, or what I recommend is in my tool link. Um, I know a lot of guys check that out. So I try to keep it up to date as much as I can. And it's early. It is, but I gotta go to bed soon, dude. Uh, did you ever get the Klein mini Ratchet? Oh, you're the guy. I was just talking about you. Enormity. So I think you're the guy that found me, and you're like from New York or something, or somewhere up there. Yeah, dude, I got them. You recommended the Allen key bits. You're from Texas? I'm from Texas. So I, yeah. So it was you. Um, yeah, I have the. I've always had the Ratchet. I got the Allen key bits after you suggested that. And dude, it's awesome. So that's what I was saying was one of my most used tools, and I use it to pump down. I use it to take off fan blades. Man, I use that thing for like everything now. So thanks, dude. Andy, a little late, bud. We're probably gonna end this soon. I don't know how a lot of you guys are still watching. I've been on here rambling on for 2 hours, I think. More than 2 hours. Shit. Um, yeah, the chat was awesome, guys. Uh, can I help you fix the car? Are you talking about the Catalina? So yeah, I got the 62. It's a project. It was running great. Then the heat got to it because I had it outside. The paint's all screwed up. It started rusting out. So I'm gonna get back to that. I have a 62 Pontiac that I'm working on. Hopefully I'll get that up soon. Right now I'm working on the van. Hopefully we'll have a van tour soon. I might actually get a new van soon. We'll see if that happens or not. Holy crap, it went up now. 27 watching. All right, Andy, maybe you're not late. I'll be on for a little bit. George, what's your opinion on Veto packs? Are they worth it? Dude, they are like so worth it. The Veto tool bags. So I have a Veto Backpack, which I love. So all in one, it's heavy, but I only use it for changeouts, compressor changeouts, new like kind of installs, projects like that, where I just want everything in my bag. So I pack that in as much as I can, and in my everyday bag, my troubleshooting bag, I have a lot of like all-in-ones, multi-tools and stuff like that. But in the backpack, I'll carry like individual tools, like individual wrenches, different screwdrivers and stuff like that, just so I have everything and I can easily get to something. So I have a Veto backpack. I have the Veto TPLC, which is just a small tool bag. That one's great just for every day going up and down a roof. Being in the kitchen because it has a hard bottom. So I really love the Veto bags. I got my dad into it. So now he has the Tech MC or MCT, the smaller bag. He also has the TP4B, which I think we got through the promotion because he wanted like something compact to take into like quick calls and stuff. So we're Veto. And then my brother also has Veto, and we have or he has the TPXL, I think. Yeah, because he got that one a while back. And then he has a MB2, which I also have also, but I don't use it right now. I carry like my infrared gun, thermometers and stuff like that in there, just to do like checks for heat, like when I'm checking like HVAC systems or even walk-ins, and I want to look at hot spots and different things, check the vents and all that. So yeah, dude, it's because Veto has like something for everybody. Now they have plumbers bags, they have like bucket organizers, um, closed bags, open bags, tool pouches. Like there's and then I have the what is it called? The the tote. Damn, what is it called? Give me a second. I have the Veto CTXL. You guys give me sometime I'll figure out how to like show you my screen. But I have the Veto CTXL. It's basically a cargo tote. It's just a huge bag with a hard bottom that you can throw everything in. A refrigerant tank fits in there. Even my nitrogen fits in there if I really want to stuff it in there. Motors, like if I'm changing out motors and I can throw a couple in there. And that one is like a huge lifesaver. It is an expensive habit, but you get what you pay for. Like they are, I only had one that was wearing out on me, and so it's probably not covered under warranty. They do have a 5-year warranty, I think, if you register the bag and something breaks on it. Now they don't. I don't think they cover wear, but I haven't like asked them about it because I haven't had any issues. But my MB3, from being in the kitchen so much, rubbing up against the floor and kind of tossing it around, the bottom kind of started messing up a little bit. But that's why I switched to one that had a hard bottom as my everyday bag. So yeah. Starvos Chav. I don't know if I said that right. See, man, I'm trying to get off myself, but I'm answering the last of the chat. I appreciate you. Yeah, because I've had cheap ones. Like I've had what are the ones that they carry? The CLC, which are great. Like I loved them when I started, but I kept breaking them, ripping them. Zippers would mess up. I had the backpack, and if I overloaded it too much, the strap ripped. And then once I got to Veto, I don't know, the quality is way better. Plus, the best time to buy a Veto is during the spring. It's basically buy one, get one free. So invest in a big bag, like something that's like, how much was that? Something like in the $200 range will get you a free tool bag. So there's that too. If you want to buy one in the spring. Get 2 bags for the price of one. Ruben, trade. A lot of trade students getting on after school. Oh, true, man. I still have a lot of my views went up right now. My van is full of magnets. Magnets are the way to go, bro. I'm actually trying to put more magnets in mine. I thought it was done, but I keep adding magnet storage. It's just easy because then you can rearrange everything. I hate doing permanent like drills, like drilling holes, or any mounts like that. If I can make it a magnet type of thing, then that's the way I store my stuff. Now, magnets on tools are even better. So like my meter, I don't know, I have a bunch of different things. I have a clip now that who sent that out to me? Black Talon or something like that. They sell like a clip with a magnet on it. Now my bag, I already maxed it out. It's too heavy for that. I think it only holds like 20 pounds or something like that. Because some guys use it to hold up their tool bag, which I made a magnet. If you guys have checked my tool link, it's a magnet, a rubber magnet with a ring hook, and that can hold my tool pouches. But basically, they have a like a lighter version. It can hold like MB2s and smaller tool pouches, and it also has like a clip, like a what do you call it, like a chip clip? I don't know what you call them. Basically, I've been using it to clip my gloves to my bag. It's the easiest way for me to carry my gloves. So I appreciate that they sent that out. I will do a video eventually. I haven't gotten around to doing review videos recently, but I'll get to it. I think it's a cool magnet tool, and I love magnets. So now I'm getting off topic. So I cannot recommend the Milwaukee Surge enough. Yeah, so I know some guys have issue or problems with stripping out screws or holes. So on my M12, I keep that thing like on 1 most of the time. Then if I need to drill something, there's a drill setting. If I'm have some stubborn screws, I put it all the way up to 3. But for the most part, I just have it on low for removing screws because you don't want to be stripping out the holes and stuff like that. Andy, you've seen the Veto, but you risk using those buckets. I've broken so many buckets. I got tired of breaking them. I know they're not expensive, but I broke so many. So then um, I ended up getting a tote bag to carry up stuff. I still have a bucket just in case. Um, and then I also got Milwaukee packouts. So there's a packout that I have that I can throw everything into. Also, it's a big open like ammo can style. So I just got tired of breaking buckets. Don't work too hard. Good night. Still have a lot of PMs to do tomorrow. Don't stop the videos. Appreciate you, Andy. You're probably already pieced out, but I have a lot of PMs to do too. I have to catch up. I have until the end of the month. I put my chuck bit through the Veto zipper hole. What the hell? That's a cool trick. Love your show. Good night. I'm married and she has dinner. Well, it's a little late for me. I had dinner right before the live stream. But I'll see you, man. I see you in the comments a lot. Handyman service. Thanks for stopping by. Nice. I have my chip magnets in the mail. Bro, I enjoy watching your content and how you break things down. Also need your recommendation. I went to trade school and got my universal. However, it was a 3-month course, and needless to say, I don't think it was the best teaching. What do you recommend I go about it? I feel like I don't have proper education or knowledge, but I have a license. So you got your EPA, right? That's why I don't recommend. Damn, it's gonna be a long ass live stream. I don't recommend crash courses. So around here we have one that's like 6 months, and you said you went for. Did you say 3 months? 3 months. You're not gonna learn much there. Those are kind of like just crash courses. Like if you just want to like get an idea of it, but if you guys ever have the opportunity to do 2-year programs, that's what I did. I learned a lot from it. But eventually, when you get out in the field, it's a whole different story. So you forget a lot of what you learn, but a lot of it sticks with you. Basically, since you have your EPA, I don't know if you have tools already or anything, but well, maybe you did because most schools require the tools. Just look for an apprenticeship. There's not much you can do other than going back to school. I don't know if you want to do that, like for a longer program. But apprenticeship is the way to go. Some places might just hire you and they'll train you. They won't call it an apprenticeship, but just look around for a job. The only way you're going to learn is by writing along with somebody. Now, when you go in, I know you said you don't feel like you learned anything, but when you go into a new job, HVAC, they're not going to, most of the time, they're not going to throw you into your own calls or anything. Not unless you are an experienced tech. and and you applied there. So yeah, best thing is to do is to get a job. Apprenticeship would work out great. You would just need to ride with somebody that does, um, or that's a senior tech, and you're gonna learn that way. Just ask questions. I went over that earlier. Pay attention, ask questions, know what they're doing and why. That's basically what I have to do. And it's not that hard to learn on the job. A lot of guys do it. And honestly, even myself that went to school, you don't know what you're getting into until you get into the field, basically. Yeah, 2-year programs are, if you're gonna do school, a 2-year program is like kind of the safe bet. Um, yeah, if you want to go back to school, that'd be great. Just don't do a crash course. 2-year programs are usually the ones that where you can learn quite a bit because it's half like a textbook, half hands-on. I don't know how it is now because somebody that went to my school reached out to me, but this was like last year, um, and it was a lot of remote learning still. So he was kind of like upset because he wasn't learning. But when I went, they had a whole warehouse where we just worked on um, some split systems, some refrigeration condensers, and then outside we had a bunch of walk-ins. We even did window units, stuff like that. Uh, if you're a student in my class, you'll learn in 8 weeks. Some guys are just like awesome. If you guys want some channels to check out, obviously HVAC School with Brian Orr. It's great. Basically, what it's called, HVAC School. Um, AC Service Tech explains everything great too. And Ty Brenneman. So those are like the class type channels. If you want basic explanations and just to learn about components and why things work the way they do, those are the 3 channels that I'd recommend or I highly recommend. They're not service call videos, they're like classes. And I watch them, I still watch them all the time, and I think they're great. I went to a 2-year school and I learned a lot, but HVAC school and AC Service Tech make a ton of great content, really diving deep on the fundamentals. I didn't see your chat right now, but exactly what I said. HVAC school, AC Service Tech, and I would throw in Ty Brenneman. Just look up Ty Brenneman. He makes kind of the learning fun on his channel. These other 2 are like you're in the classroom. So those are all good channels to check out. I'm trying my best to do stuff like that too. So I'll get back to making more videos. Think I finally caught up. All right, guys. Appreciate everybody who came in through. Damn it. Appreciate everybody who came through. I think I answered everybody's question, or I tried to. If you guys missed the live stream, we ran very long. Podcasts. These are going to be up on podcast, wherever you listen to podcasts. So the audio gets ripped. You can listen to it on a drive if you want to check out what we're talking about. And I think that's going to do it for me, guys. Like I said, appreciate everybody here, and I'll see you guys.